Hello everyone, welcome to today's daily news analysis. I'm Akhil Rajratnam. For today's session, I've taken these four topics. So the first one is talking regarding 2024 was the first year to breach the global warming limit. So this was based on a WMO report. So we'll be discussing what are the key findings of this report and what are the global issues and what is India's stand on that. Okay. Next one is regarding President Draupadi Murmu's invitation. So in this particular invitation for which she'll be inviting the guests for Republic Day. So in this, it is said to honor the crafts from South India which are having GI tag. So we'll be discussing what is the GI tag, what are the detailed specifications of this particular craft. Third one is regarding the SC dismisses pleas challenging law on Women's Reservation Bill. So here we'll be discussing what is this 106 Amendment Act and what are the provisions, so what is the ongoing issue. Okay. After that, finally, India's journey so far on AI military bandwagon. So again, this is from the Hindu. Here we'll be discussing regarding what is the contribution of AI in India's military or defense sector. Okay, so these are the four articles I've taken for today's daily news analysis. Before moving on, let me show you a quiz. Alright, so this is a quiz from history. So by the end of the session, we'll be discussing this. So you can post the answer in the chat box. Okay, so this is Gada Saptati of Shatavahana Hinkala is composed in which language? Option A Pali, option B Prakrit, option C Persian, and option D Sanskrit. So you can post your answers in the chat box. In the end of the session, we'll be discussing this question. Okay. Alright, so let me introduce you to our products. So we are actually having two products. One is a 1-year prelims comes mains integrated course. So that will be aimed at people who are writing the 2026 examination. And another one is the 2-year prelims come mains integrated program. So that will be aimed at people who are writing the 2027 examination. So these are the specifications of the course. So we have around 800 plus hours of general studies, and in that 200 plus hours of current affairs is also there, and we'll be giving you the micro schedule in which the detailed syllabus will be there, and also we'll be having expert faculty for each and every subject. Obviously, regular testing will also be there both for prelims as well as mains. It will be available, and we have study materials for every subject. We'll be having study materials, and also digital resources like app will be available, and every month we are actually releasing the Navigator magazine. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our first topic. All right. So this was from the Hindu. This is talking regarding a report which was released by Copernicus Climate Change Service and WMO. So they have jointly published this report, and in this report they have confirmed that 2024 was the first year that has reached the 1.5 degree Celsius global warming limit. Okay, so we'll be discussing what are the key findings and what are the challenges as well as how we can rectify. All right. So this is important from the GS3 point of view. GS3 environment point of view. GS3 environment point of view as well as from the prelims perspective. Let's see a previous year question in this regard. Discuss global warming and mention its effects on global climate. Explain the control measures to bring down the key levels of greenhouse gases which cause global warming in the light of Kyoto Protocol 1997. This was a question which was asked in 2022 mains. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the key findings of this report. So this report was released jointly by Copernicus Climate Change Service, and World Meteorological Organization. Okay, so this Copernicus Climate Change Service, this is actually a Britain-based, UK-based policy body. Okay, UK-based policy body, and you all might be knowing that WMO. WMO is a very popular international body which is dealing in this climate analysis and global climate data. Okay, so in this particular report, they are saying that the global temperature in 2024 that has already crossed 1.5 degree, and now it is in 1.62. Now it has been 1.62 from the pre-industrial level. Here you can see the graph how it is actually going. From here it has actually gone. Again, this was a 1.5 limit. Okay, 1.5 limit. So now it has crossed the 1.5 limit also. So what is the significance of this 1.5 limit? We'll be discussing later. So these are the key findings of the report. Let's understand what are the key findings of this particular report. Okay, and it has already surpassed the 1991-2020, 1991-2020 by average by 0.7 degree, 0.72 degree, and it is 0.12 degree higher than 2023. So, what is the significance of 2023? If you see this graph, you will understand. Earlier, the previous year with the highest temperature was 2023 itself. Okay, so it has crossed that by 0.12 degree. So, 2023 was the previous year with the highest temperature. So, it has surpassed that also. Now, 2024 is the hottest year. Okay, and annual average sea surface temperature has reached 20.87 degrees. SST means sea surface temperature. Sea surface temperature. Okay, so what is the significance of sea surface temperature in global warming? Because if the temperature, usually oceans or seas will be absorbing the heat, and if they are absorbing the heat, that can also affect the climate. Why? Because for example, right, the frequency of cyclones in the world has increased. Why? Because the cyclones, for the formation of cyclones, sea surface temperature is very important. So if the sea surface temperature is increasing, means the frequency of cyclones will be increasing. Frequency of cyclones will be increasing means, again, there will be many other chain reactions will be there. For example, rainfall will be increasing, flooding will be increasing. Again, with that, diseases will be increasing. So like that, many issues are related with this average sea surface temperature increase. So ultimately, everything is coming under the global warming only. And another important thing which this report is observing is there is actually 11-month breach is there. 11-month breach in the sense it has been for continuously for 11 months. This global temperature has exceeded the 1.5 degree. Okay, so it indicates that there is actually a persistent warming. There is actually a persistent warming pattern within 2024 itself. If you see this graph, you can see that it's already, if you from 1970 to 2024, it's gradually increasing. In 2024 itself, again, it was slowly increasing only. Within every month, it was increasing only. So that is also another observation which was in this particular report. Okay. So what is the significance of this 1.5 degree? We could have taken any other day, any other temperature like 1.2, 1.3. So what is the significance of this 1.5 degree? Okay. So that will be discussing. So importance of 1.5 degree. Okay, so this 1.5 degree threshold, so that was brought by the Paris Agreement in 2015. In 2015, the COP, Conference of Parties of UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So in that COP that was held in Paris only 2015. So there only they have brought this 1.5 degree threshold. Okay. So this technically 1.5 degree, technically it is 2 degree. So to keep the global warming well below 2 degree, we should not let it go beyond 2 degrees. So that was it, but still we'll try to keep it within 1.5 degree itself. So anyway, this 1.5 degree is over. So that is what the significance of this particular report. Okay, all right. So why this target is kept? Why this 1.5 degree is kept? There are two arguments are there. One, this is a very scientific thing. Another argument is it is an arbitrary one. So two arguments are also there. There are justifications for both these arguments also. So it will be minimizing the risk of extreme weather events. We are keeping it like 1.5 degree. It will be minimizing the risk of extreme weather events. For example, like heat waves. Heat waves will be there, cyclones will be there. So it will be minimizing the risk of extreme weather events, and it was scientifically proved. That's what one argument is. Okay. Another one is it will be preventing irreversible damage to ecosystem. Preventing the irreversible damage to ecosystem. What do you mean by irreversible damage? For example, coral reefs. If some coral reefs have been damaged, means we will not be able to reverse it. Or maybe with Antarctic or Arctic ice that melting. Sometimes we will not be able to reverse it. Okay, it will be completely gone. So that is why prevent the irreversible damage to the ecosystem, and obviously to protect the vulnerable population, especially in the developing countries, as well as the least developing countries. Okay, usually the burden will be on developed countries. So that is one argument which these developed countries are saying against any sort of agreement between the countries. Okay. All right. So this is the significance of this 1.5 degree threshold. Now, why 2023 and 2024? We have already discussed, like in this particular report, 2024 is the warmest year on record. Okay, before it was 2023. So, why this 2023 and 2024 is considered as the warmest? Okay, so we'll see what are the reasons. So, this was actually based on a report from National Centers for Environment Information (NCIA), and it is not just because of human induced factors. Some natural climate drivers are also there to make this 2023 and 2024 warm. So that's what this particular report is saying. We'll see the natural factors. Which all are the natural factors? One is El Nino effect. One is El Nino effect. There is no concrete evidence that El Nino has been accelerated by human activities. El Nino is something which is considered as natural only. Every frequent, I mean, like, there is actually frequency, sometimes 3 years, 2 years and all, El Nino will be coming. Some people are saying that it is accelerated by human activities, but still there is another argument also. Okay, so this is El Nino means it's a natural phenomenon caused by the warming of this central equatorial Pacific. Central equatorial Pacific. Okay, it is the warming of this central equatorial Pacific. In this June 2023 and all, it was in the peak, and it was there till 2024 itself. So that is one of the natural factors which has accelerated the global warming. Okay, another one is solar cycle. Solar cycle, for sun there is actually a 11-year cycle. 11-year cycle of magnetic or radioactive activities. 11-year cycle of magnetic activities. So during this solar maximum phase, the radiation will be increasing. During the solar maximum phase, radiation will be increasing, and this radiation will be reaching Earth also. So obviously, when the solar radiation is increasing, means the global warming, it will be accelerating the global warming. Obviously, there is no even if human activity is not there also, this will be happening. So this is also another natural reason. Another one is related to the 2022 Tonga volcanic eruption. 2022 volcanic eruption which happened in Tonga. Okay, so usually when this volcanic activities happen, sulfur dioxide emissions will be there. So so in this particular Tonga volcanic eruption, the sulfur dioxide emission was low. Sulfur dioxide is something which is having a cooling effect. So it will be reflecting the sunlight and it will be having a cooling effect. But this time in this Tonga volcanic eruption, sulfur dioxide emission was less. So that is also one reason. So it less sunlight was reflected away. So that was also one reason, and that was also one reason which increases global warming. And other than that, these are human factors. Obviously, usually we'll be discussing this every time. For example, greenhouse gas emission. Greenhouse gas emission, especially carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide emission. So that is increasing due to industrial activities, vehicles and all. It is increasing at an alarming rate. Okay. Another one is record sea surface temperature. We have already seen the statistics regarding the sea surface temperature, and I've already mentioned what are the what will be the chain reaction if the sea surface temperatures are increasing. Okay. All right. So what are the issues? We know why this 2023-2024 became warm. Okay, there are natural reasons, but there are human induced factors also. But still, there are issues in addressing these climate crisis. So we'll see what are the issues. Okay, the global challenges. One is obviously the rising emissions only. We are not able to control that particular emissions. Even though we are bringing in electric vehicles, we are bringing in more emission norms and all, but still it is emissions are rising. So that is a very alarming thing which is happening. Okay, even after all this efforts also the emissions are rising. So that's one of the reasons why this global warming is happening. Another one is climate finance gaps are there. Okay, climate finance gaps are there. For example, in 2024, 4 climate summits happened. 4 climate summits happened in 2024, and every climate summit concluded without reaching any consensus, especially in this area of climate finance. Okay, especially there were drift between the developing countries as well as the developed nations. So one major event which happened in 2019 regarding climate is in COP29, the UNFCCC COP29 that happened in Baku in Azerbaijan. Okay, so that was a major failure regarding this climate finance. We were not able to reach a consensus between the developed countries and developing countries. Okay, developing countries are saying they are facing economic strain by funding this developing nation. So that is the major argument. Another one again, these developed countries are facing is major emitters. See, major emitters means it will be developed countries only, but China will also be there. But other than that, US will be there, UK will be there, and even the EU countries, European Union countries will be there. So from them, domestic pressures are also there. For example, countries like Germany and all, when they are moving towards the solar and all, they are actually having domestic pressures, increase in the price of this products. So that will be affecting the domestic economy. Okay. Okay. So these are the some of the global challenges. So now let's see what does India stand on that. India stand on, obviously India is also facing some of these challenges, but still, what does India stand on that, and what is India's contribution on this? So India is advocating for something called climate justice. Climate justice. India is saying that there should be justice. Climate justice should be there, and in that CBDR, this is what India stands: common but differentiated responsibility. Common but differentiated responsibility. So common but differentiated responsibility. What is a common responsibility we have? That is, everyone should contribute to reduce the global warming as well as emissions and all. Okay. What is a differentiated responsibility? Developed countries they have to spend more money. They have to fund more towards the developing nations. Okay. So that is what this climate, that's India standard. That's what we call the CBDR. Okay. And demand for the climate finance. Okay. This in 2015 Paris Agreement and all, there was a deal, fulfillment of $100 billion annually. $100 billion annually for fulfillment of this Paris Agreement. So that was also not decided in the last summit also, Baku summit also. Okay. So countries have to, according to this Paris Agreement, countries have to what is the what are the national commitments every countries can make? So that should be there. 2015 we have declared something, and 2022 we have updated our nationally determined contributions at NDC. So we'll be reducing emission intensity by 45% by 2030. 45% by 2030 from the 2005 levels. Okay, so that is our updated NDC, and other than that, we will be achieving 50% electricity capacity from non-fossil fuels. Non-fossil fuels in the sense solar will be there, wind energy will be there, geothermal energy will be there, bioenergy will be there. So like that, many things will be there. So we will be achieving 50% electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources. Okay, so that was another thing, and also aiming for net zero emissions by 2070. Net zero emission means what? The carbon dioxide, for example, take carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide will be emitting, and the carbon dioxide will be able to absorb or trap. So that will be cancelling out. So that's why net zero emissions by 2070. Okay, and also we are part of many renewable energy initiatives also. For example, International Solar Alliance, in which India is in the forefront. India, France, and all is in the forefront. So like that way, India is coming up with new and new initiatives in this climate fight. Okay. All right. So, but still, even though we are coming up with this much ideas and this much India is having this much contribution, but still we are facing some India specific challenges are also there. We'll see what are these specific challenges. One is balancing the growth and emissions. Balancing the growth and emissions. India is a developing country, one of the fastest growing developing economies in the world. Okay. Alright, so we have to balance between this growth and emissions. For example, we are coming up with new industrial corridors also. We have DMIC, Delhi Mumbai Industrial Corridor. We have initiatives like DMIC, Delhi Mumbai Industrial Corridor, and we are trying to increase the number of corridors also. So because we want to be a production economy. Okay, service economy, production economy. We want to focus on this manufacturing sector also. Obviously, if this kind of initiatives are coming, we'll have to somehow we'll have to that will also contribute to the greenhouse gas emissions. We cannot do something only with this renewable energy sources. So that is another challenge. We'll be balancing the growth as well as the emissions, and still we are relying on coal only. We are relying on coal only. Mostly, I mean, the renewable energy will, if you take the percentage of this renewable energy, that will be very less in our production. Okay, so that is also another issue. And another one, obviously, the population of India, the huge population of India. India is one of the most populated country in the world. Density is also high. So even though we are the fastest growing economy, due to the population and all, our per capita income and all is very low. Okay, so that's also another thing. And obviously, we don't have that kind of a technology. We don't have that kind of a technology to completely eliminate this emissions. For example, take the case of uh, electric vehicles. Electric vehicles. So even if we will not be able to phase out all the petrol or diesel vehicles and go to the electric vehicles. Why? Because the technology is still not much affordable for the common man. So that is one issue. So like that, I'm just giving a very common example only. But still, if you look into, for example, solar panels and all, that they are still costly. Okay, so that's also one thing. Either the technology is costly or it is not accessible to everyone. Okay, so that's in. Another thing is vulnerability to climate impacts. India is one of the in many indexes and all regarding climate change and climate induced hazards. India is coming in the top place. Why? Because why? Because India is hazard prone area. Hazard prone area in the sense cyclones. The peninsular region is affected by cyclones. If you go to the northern but Himalayan regions and all, there will be glacier GL off will be there, glacier leak outbursts will be there, cloud bursts will be there. Like that, whichever part of India you take, there will be some sort of vulnerability will be there. Okay, so these are some of the India specific issues. So we'll see what is actually the projection for 2025 and beyond. Okay, so one very important report which is saying this is UK Met Office, UK Meteorological Office. They have actually predicted there's a 90% chance of another year also exceeding within 2028. Another year will also be exceeding this 1.5 limit, and obviously we are moving towards the 2 degree increase only. That will be achieved within 2050 itself. That's what they are saying, within 25 years itself. Okay, so we are in 2025, still a quarter will be there. So within that itself, we'll be moving towards this 2 degree Celsius. Okay, well, one major report is the UK Met Office. UK Met Office, 90% chance. They are saying that 90% chances there. Okay, another one is heat waves and natural disasters. This is mostly applicable to India also. For example, you can see that you can say, even see that India is one of the highest vulnerable regions that will be facing this heat waves and natural disasters. Okay, all right. Now let's see some of the global initiatives, past ones and even the recent ones also will be discussing global initiatives and agreements which will be dealing with this climate justice. Okay. All right. First one is Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement. We have already discussed what is this Paris Agreement. It's a COP 21. COP 21. 2015 it came into being. Okay. So to limit the global warming to 2%, and we'll be striving to take it till 1.5. Okay, all right. So another one is Glasgow Climate Pact. Another one is Glasgow Climate Pact. Okay, so this call for the phase down of coal and doubling of the climate finance. Phase down of coal and doubling of climate finance. Another one is loss and damage fund. Another one is loss and damage fund. COP 27 loss and damage fund is there. So this will be supporting the vulnerable nations and addressing the climate induced losses. Okay. Another one, net zero commitment. Net zero emissions will be there. Even many countries, over 130 countries including India, have pledged that we'll be moving towards net zero commitment. India's pledge is like by 2070 we'll be moving towards net zero. Okay. All right. And another one, renewable energy expansion. Renewable energy expansion will be focusing on solar, will be focusing on wind energy. So like the non-fossil fuel resources, will be adopting non-fossil fuel resources. Okay, and there is something called carbon market is also there, especially regarding EU. EU carbon market is also there, where carbon they have introduced something like the emission trading system. So carbon certificates will be there, and you'll be able to shift the burden. I mean, like if you are not able to do something, you can buy this carbon certificates. Okay, so that is also there. Okay, so these are some of the prominent initiatives in this regard. Okay, now let's see what is the way forward. Way forward is to accelerate the renewable energy, accelerating the renewable energy, moving towards solar, wind, geothermal. So like that way, moving towards this kind of thing, promoting the energy efficiency. There are minimizing the losses, transmission losses and all, minimizing and using the maximum efficiency, like green building standards and all will be. For example, while using AC and all, the temperature is high means AC also have to work, the fridge also has to, refrigerator also has to work. So if you are implementing a more efficient technology means like insulating the areas and all, then we will be able to achieve more energy efficiency. Disaster preparedness, strengthening the infrastructure, and even community preparedness also we can include in this disaster prepare. Another one in agriculture. Agriculture is also one of the areas in which emissions are happening, like use of fertilizers, use of pesticides and also that's also another issue. So now we will be moving for climate resilient agriculture. Okay, so developing more crop varieties which are enduring this extreme weather conditions, and even if the heat waves are also there, also crops and all will be affected. So climate resilient crops should be developed. Okay, climate finance should be strengthened. This is one demand which is being raised in every climate summit. So that should also be there, and technology transfer between countries, especially from the developed nations to developing countries, that should be there. Okay, so this is a way forward. All right, moving on to next topic. Next topic is regarding the president's at home function. President's at home function. So every year there is a function known as at home function will be hosted by the president. So this year President Draupadi Murmu will be hosting this function as part of the 75 years of Republic. Okay, so we'll see what is this at home function. So in that, specially curated handcraft items from South India has been included. So we'll see what are the products also, what are the products and what are the significance of these products, because you know this GI tag products will be there. So we'll be discussing what is GI tag, and these products can be asked in art and culture section. These products can be asked. So obviously we'll be mostly focusing on this GS paper 1, Indian heritage and culture aspect. Okay. All right. So we'll see a previous year question in this regard. Safeguarding the Indian art heritage is need of the moment. Safeguarding the Indian art heritage is a need of the moment. Comment. It was asked in 2018 mains. Okay. All right. We'll see what is this at home function. What is this at home function? So this is a customary event which happens during every Independence Day as well as Republic Day. Every Independence Day and Republic Day will be hosting this. The president will be hosting this. At home function. So one purpose is to honor distinguished individuals. Honor the individuals. Honor distinguished individuals. Another one to show that how India is a country with unity in diversity. Okay, people from different sections of the society will be called. Okay, so that will be there, and it will be hosted by the President of India actually during Independence Day and Republic Day. Independence Day and Republic Day. So these are the two terms before the Independence Day as well as Republic Day. Okay, so what is the significance of this Republic Day is, here we will be celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of India's Republic. Diamond Jubilee means 75 years. Okay, 75 years. India became Republic in 1950, January 26. January 26. So this year it will be the 75th anniversary of India becoming a republic. Okay, so this time, so during this event, everyone, the dignitaries will be given an invitation. An invitation will be there. Usually this invitation card will be there. So this year, instead of just an invitation card, what they are actually planning, they will be giving an invitation box. invitation box will be there. So in that invitation box, some items will be there. So that will be having that will be having GI tags as well as that will be unique to one particular area. And all these products are from South India, different states of South India. So that is the significance of this invitation box as well as the products inside. And so why South India? Because it said that South India is having even the history of more than 5,000 years old. Even the Harappans and South India recently this Indus during that Indus debates on Indus Valley decoding and all, it's believed that Dravidian is also some sort of Harappan, has some connection to the Harappan. So South Indians have more history than the northern part of India, Aryan. So that's what it is said. So that's why they're focusing on South India this time. Okay. And again, another important thing is here special invitees will be there. Special invitees means not the dignitaries and all, but people who are representing the common man. Okay. Here, women drone pilots. We have women drone pilots are there. So the name term which is associated with them is drawn DDs. Drawn DDs. Maybe this is also a snippet, glimpse snippet which can be asked. Okay. So women drawn pilots, drawn DDs will be there, and agriculture, common agriculturalists practicing natural farming will be there, and again individuals with disabilities who has shown their achieve notable success in any of the field. So they'll also be called for this particular function. Okay, so that is a at home function, and that is the significance of that home function which will be hosted by President Draupadi Murmu this time. Okay, all right. Now let's see what is this GI tag. What is this GI tag? So basically, GI tag is a certification that links to products to specific geographical origin. Okay, so this is geographical indication tag. So there will be a specific geographical origin will be there. For example, one particular area in a state, one particular, for example, Hyderabad, can be in Hyderabad or it can be in Chennai or it can be in Shimla. So like that way, something will be manufactured or something will be unique to that particular place. That is known as geographical. So that items will be given a geographical indication tag. It will be having some unique qualities will be there. Okay, unique qualities will be there. If you are making a sari also, the sari which you are making in Chennai, that will be entirely different from the sari which you are making in Ahmedabad. Okay, so that will be having a unique quality based on their history or based on the geography. Something will be there. Unique quality, reputation, or characteristics will be there in that particular region. Okay, so that is so that items can apply for GI tag and they will be getting the GI tag. Okay, so in India, this GI tags are governed by this particular act, Geographical Indications of Goods, Geographical Indications of Goods Act 1999. So once a product is granted a geographical indication tag, that will be staying there for 10 years. Okay, that product will be in the list for 10 years, but it can be renewed indefinitely. After 10 years, again it can be renewed again. Okay, so that's a that's how the legal provisions of geographical indication tag. Okay, so now let's see what is there in this invitation box. All right, so these are the things which are there in this invitation box. One is the kalamkari paintings. Okay, so this box itself. So this box itself is adorned with this kalamkari art. Kalamkari art. So what is this kalamkari art? Kalamkari art is something unique in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Andhra Pradesh. So kalam means pen. Kalam means pen. So basically a sharp sharp pointed bamboo pen will be there. Usually this is done on fabric only, but not necessarily. Here it is, I mean like the box itself is around with this kalamkari art. So sharp pointed bamboo pen will be there, and you can draw in usually in fabrics and all. Okay, and another important thing is the dyes which you are using. It's not synthetic dyes, but it will be natural dyes. For example, indigo will be there, even pomegranate will be there. So like that, turmeric will be there. So these natural dyes, with this natural dyes only, will be making out this paintings. Okay, so that is kalamkari paintings. Even there are two important types of kalamkari painting. One is Sri Kalahasti. One is Sri Kalahasti painting. Another one is Machilipatnam. In Andhra itself, Kalahasti and Machilipatnam. So these are the two important types of kalamkari painting. Okay, Sri Kalahasti and Machilipatnam painting. Usually Hindu mythological themes will be there in this kalamkari painting, but still nowadays there are many changes happening. Okay, another one is ikat. So this will be the cover, the fabric cover will be inside. So the box will be adorned with the kalamkari paintings from Andhra Pradesh. The fabric cover that is crafted in ikat. So ikat is actually a technique. Ikat is actually a technique in which resist dyeing will be there. Resist dyeing will be there. So what do you mean by resist dyeing? Resist dyeing means, you know what is dyeing, right? Dyeing means a cloth will be taken and maybe we can tie it something and we can put it in the dye and we can take it and patterns will be there. Here what will happen is sometimes you will be pouring some wax or something, wax or clay or something will be put. After that you will be dipping it in the dye. So wherever this wax or something will be there, the dye won't be dye won't be visible in that area. So there you will be getting a plain thing. So once you remove that wax, you will be having a nice pattern. Okay, so that is resist dyeing. So that is Pochampalli. Ikat is a technique. Pochampalli is in Telangana. Okay, so Pochampalli cover, Pochampalli sarees and all, they are very famous. Okay, next one is Mysore Ganjifa art. Okay, so there will be a fridge magnet also. So in that box, a fridge magnet will also be there. So that will be having the Mysore Ganjifa art. Okay, usually like this it will be there. Down it will be there. So Ganjifa is a playing card. Okay, playing card. So playing card in sense this was famous during the period of Mughals as well as Maratha. It was famous during Mughals as well as Marathas. So usually depends on the type of theme. For example, it can be Dashavatara. Dashavatara Ganjifa is there, or maybe Mughal Ganjifa is also there. So like the different themes will be available. So round cards will be there and you will be playing using this card. Multiple players will be there and you will be playing using this card. Okay, so that is Ganjifa. It is popular in this Karnataka, Mysore region, especially during this Mughal period as well as during the Maratha period. So that will be replicated in a French magnet, okay, which will be there inside the box. Another one is Kanjivaram silk pouch. Okay, Kanjivaram silk pouch. Kanjivaram silk is popular in Tamil Nadu, Kanjivaram region of Tamil Nadu. It is it. So this is famous for its luxurious texture. Luxurious texture, especially the zari work will be there. Zari work means gold work will be there. The borders and all will be having a gold work. Okay, zari work will be there. Kanjipuram saris are very famous. Okay, so that will be there. Inside a pouch will be there. That will be of Kanjipuram silk. Another one is Etikopaka dolls. Etikopaka dolls from Andhra Pradesh, from this area. Etikopaka area of Andhra Pradesh. So again, this will also be having a very lacquer finish will be there. Colors will also be very vibrant. Okay, the material which you will be using is wood. Andhra is very famous for its woodworks. Okay, so wooden dolls from Andhra Pradesh. So that is Etiko Paka dolls. Okay, another one from Kerala, that is screw pine leaf bookmark. A bookmark will be there. So that will be made from screw pine leaf. Again, this is also having GI, screw pine craft of Kerala. Okay, so this usually mats will be made out of the screw pine craft. Okay, screw pine will be there. So here from that leaf bookmark will be there. This is will be like some sort of pineapple, will be looking like some sort of pineapple, this screw pine. Okay, from that only this will be. So these are the products which will be there inside the invitation box. Okay, all right, moving on to next topic. Supreme Court has recently dismissed the petitions. They are challenging the provisions of the Women's Reservation Act, 106th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2023. Okay, so we'll discuss what are the important provisions of this act. So this will be important from both prelims as well as mains perspective. Mains in the sense GS paper 2. Okay, GS paper 2, important laws for government policies and intervention for development. Okay, all right. We'll see a previous year question. The reservation of seats for women in institutions of local self-government has had an limited impact on the patriarchal character of Indian political process. So we'll see what this Women's Reservation Act is. Okay, so constitutional provision. This Women's Reservation Bill, for implementing this Women's Reservation Bill, a constitution amendment was made. So that was made in 2023. That was made in 2023. So that is 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. So in this, one third of all the seats in Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies, Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies, and even the state legislative assembly of National Capital Territory of Delhi. Okay, so that will also be included. So here, one third of the seats, or 33%. 33% of the seats will be reserved for women. Okay, so that is the main provision in this. But there is an effective period. It won't be implemented right now itself. Even though the act was passed, it won't be implemented right now itself. So this will be implemented after the publication of census only. After the publication of census only. So after the census, there will be a delimitation will be there. So based on that only, this will be implemented. Okay, so that will be the effective period of this. So that's what they are saying. So there are, speculation that census will be happening in 2025. Imagine if census is happening, the results will be there in 2025. So this will be effective for a 15 years period. This will be effective for a 15 years period. So that means it will be there till 2040. Till 2040, this act will be in. Maybe the reservation will be there till 2040. So that's what they are saying. So after that, naturally women will be there in this position. So that's what they are estimating. Okay. Another important thing is there will be a rotation of seats. Obviously, there will be a rotation. What do you mean by rotation of seats? For example, imagine the census, everything is done, and after that, this is implemented. So some constituencies has to be selected. Right? For example, take ABC. For this year, maybe 2025 elections. Imagine if there is an election 2025, ABC seats will be selected. Okay. So after this 2030 there will be elections, right? So ABC seats won't be there. After that, DEF will be there. DEF seats will be there. So this is basically rotation. Okay. So rotation, and this rotation will be governed by the legislation passed by Parliament after every delimitation. Okay. So that's also mentioned in this act. Okay. All right. So this is the statistics. As of now, this is statistics you can use in your main answers and all. So currently 15% of total membership of 17th Lok Sabha, 15% of total members of 17th Lok Sabha were women, and on average 9% of the total members in state legislative assembly, that is also women. Okay, so these are the statistics related with that. Okay, one more thing, 18th Lok Sabha 2024 to 2029, so that will be 13.6%. Okay, all right. So we'll see the legislative progression of this particular act. It was not something which is which came all of a sudden. There were many, from a lot of years itself, these discussions were happening. So we'll see the legislative progression. Okay, in 1979, India became a signatory. This convention happened. Convention on the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. This was signed in 1979. And India was also a signatory of this particular convention, and this is one of the important conventions which is related with UN Women. So which is defining this UN Women organization, UN Women, one of the key agreements that guides the work of UN Women. And also, if you check this historical representation, in the first Lok Sabha, it was only 5%. Total number of women was only 5%, and 17th Lok Sabha it is 15%. So we were able to increase the representation, even though in this particular Lok Sabha it was little less, 13% only. So we are able to increase from this to 5 to 15%. Okay, and also many amendments were proposed. This is, even though only the 106th amendment was passed, amendments were proposed in 1996, 1998, 1999, 2008, but unfortunately they were not able to pass during that time. So that's why we have to wait. Okay, and also other than that some joint committee recommendations were also there. So 1996 bill there was a joint committee recommendation, and 2008 bill also there was a joint committee recommendation, though that recommended this women's reservation. Okay. Alright, so this is a historical or legislative progress. So now let's see what is the issue happening now. We have already discussed what is the issue happening now. So the petitioner's argument is like uh, delay due to consensus and census and delimitation. Okay. So what is there in that? After the census only. After the census only. Once the census data is out, after that the delimitation will be there. So based on that only the reservation will be implemented. That too after that too in the next Lok Sabha election, maybe in the upcoming that state legislative assembly election. So petitioners are arguing that there is actually a delay. If the census is getting delayed, again this will also not, the implementation of this particular thing will also be delayed. So that's what they are saying. That is one argument which they are saying. Another one, this is a violation of Article 14. What is Article 14? Equality. Article 14 is equality. Okay. So this is actually a violation of equality. Violation of equality, right to equality. We have to immediately enforce this particular thing. Another one, they are citing the past precedents. Past precedents is when we already have women's reservation where in the local self governments. Okay, in the local self government we have 73rd, 74th amendment. 73rd, 74th amendment. We have already implemented for women's reservation. Even in some states, it's 50% reservation. Okay, it has. In that act it is 33%, but in some state 50% reservation is there. Okay. So again, they are saying that for implementation of these things, we were not waiting for the census data. So why can't we implement before waiting for the census data itself? So that is their argument. But Supreme Court has dismissed this petition. Supreme Court has dismissed this petition, saying that this law has already been enacted and the census will be coming. So obviously, there is no urgency of implementing this now itself, and this will be in the legislative domain only. Legislative domain means it is coming under the jurisdiction of Parliament, and it is not violating the constitutional provisions. Whatever there, it is not violating the constitutional provisions. Okay. And the ruling again reaffirms that this constitutional process for passing and implementation of these amendments, okay, they are not making this void, they are upholding this particular law only. Okay. All right. So that's it regarding women's reservation bill and the challenges. Moving on to next article. So this is again from the Hindu only. So India's journey so far on the AI military bandwagon. So India is integrating AI everywhere, in every sectors. India is integrating AI. So this is specifically talking regarding the defense sector only. Recently, Microsoft has invested $3 billion in Telangana data centers. So that will obviously be helping the private sector involvement in AI also. So we'll be taking these aspects. Okay, so we'll see a previous year question in this regard. Again, this is coming in the science and tech area of your syllabus. We'll see a previous year question in this regard. Present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? Okay, so a few things are there, you have to correctly identify. So what is artificial intelligence? Everywhere we are everywhere, maybe every day we will be using something related to AI and all. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence? We have heard about human intelligence or maybe animal intelligence is there. So artificial intelligence means something the machines are actually mimicking what the humans can do. Okay, machines are mimicking the human intelligence. So simulation of the human intelligence in machines, that is known as artificial intelligence. So what all things we are doing based on our, we'll be thinking, we'll be learning, and after that we'll be making decisions. So the same thing machines are also able to do. They can think of their own. They can think of their own. They can learn of their own, and they can take decisions of their own. You know, right? Earlier times and all, what were we doing? We were using we'll be programming something, and based on the particular program, machines will be working based on that particular program only. Calculate from 1 to 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus, we will be writing the program and they will be calculating till then, that is it. That's how it was working. But now it is not like that. Now they can think of their own, not based on, they can think beyond the program, they can think. So that is artificial intelligence. Okay. All right. So some of the functions, one is problem solving. Problem solving, you might have seen there's a machines and all, they'll be solving this Rubik's cube. Okay, solving the Rubik's cube. So that is based on their own algorithms. Even if we are giving different patterns, also they'll be able to solve it. So problem solving. Another one is decision making. Decision making. There are self-driving cars are there. Self-driving cars are there. So they have to make the decision based on that particular time. They have to make the decision like how humans are making the decision. So that should be there. That is there. Speech recognition things are like, uh, we have Google Assistant in your phone, Siri in Apple phones and all, it will be there. We'll be saying, right, hello Google, hello Siri. So like that way. So they'll be able to recognize our speech and act accordingly. Okay, language understanding, same thing, Chat GPT, and responding to human commands, prompts. So that is also there. Language understanding and visual perception is also there. Like facial recognition softwares, even they can identify the photos, they can remove the things in the photos. So that's also part of this AI. Okay. Now let's move on to defense sector. Okay. What are the applications of AI in defense sector? One is surveillance. One is surveillance. Surveillance means what? We have to survey one area. For that, mostly we'll be using drones or AI, UAVs. UAV. Okay, UAVs will be there, or drones will be there. Drones will be there. Unmanned aerial vehicles. Unmanned aerial vehicles or drones will be there to survey that particular area. So here it will be surveying based on artificial intelligence only. No human command will be there. No human command or no remote control will be there. They'll be automatically doing it based on the artificial intelligence. So that kind of technology is there, and we have autonomous systems are also there. For example, military robots. Heard about military robots? So military robots mean they'll be supplying. For example, in one area there is a very some issues happening and human intervention will be really difficult. So at that time, this military robots will be there. So they'll be carrying these areas. Some areas in which mines or landmines are there. So we have to carry something through that. So combat zones and all will be there. So there we can use this military robots with the use of AI system itself. They'll be able to maneuver through it. Another one very important one is cyber security. Cyber security systems will be there. So here AI based threat detection will be there. In every, for example, take one website will be there, then that some flaw will be there. And through that flaw, people will be able to penetrate through that website, and finally they'll be able to, hack that website or something. Okay. So for that, the AI, based on this AI, we can detect the threats. So that is also one important thing. Predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance. So this AI models, they can predict the potential engine failures in future. Okay, for example, this area, there is a there is, it is going to be vulnerable. So obviously you have to change that to avoid some issue. For example, in flights and all, we'll be using that. Another thing is training and simulation. Training and simulation will be there. Virtual reality based, you might have seen this VR headset, all will be there. So that will be creating a virtual environment there, and in that we can actually do the training without going to the field itself. We can do the training setting here itself. Okay, that is also there. Another one is data analytics and intelligence. Okay, so they can intercept this communications and identify, they can plan accordingly. Okay, so that is data analytics and intelligence. Okay. All right. So progress made by India in this military. Progress made by India in this military AI. One is policy and strategic framework. Policy and strategic framework. We have something known as Defense Artificial Intelligence Council. So this is a high-level council. This is a high-level council established by the Ministry of Defense. So all the top bureaucrats or all the top people in the decision making will be part of this particular DAIC or Defense Artificial Intelligence Council. Okay, so they will be taking the top decisions will be there. So who will be implementing this? Defense AI Project Agency will be there. Okay, so here the people, the technically qualified people will be there, and they will be coming up with, they will be facilitating and they will be monitoring this AI programs, and that will be done. So this is in the policy or strategic level. Okay. So after that we have institutional support and R&D sales, so that is provided by DRDO. DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization, will be there. For example, you might have heard regarding this Rustam drones. Rustam drones. Okay, Rustam drones are there. So, and there are some UGVs, unmanned ground vehicles, are also there. So these are also pioneered by AI projects. Okay, all right. Dedicated AI laboratories. Dedicated AI laboratories. Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. So they are dealing with this AI based research. Okay, all right. Some other initiatives. Startup ecosystem and private participation. Startup ecosystem and private participation. IDEX is a very important. IDEX is a very important innovations for defense excellence. So this encourages the startups in AI. Encourages the startups in AI, especially the ones which are giving solutions for the military use, like secure communication, drones, everything will be there. Another one, the Ministry of Defense, they have called for something known as Defense India Startup Challenge. Defense India Startup Challenge. So here they will be funding the startups, that are focusing on the AI based imaging sensor systems and all. Okay, and some of this AI in deployment. One is Agni D. Agni D. So this is a AI based surveillance system we have already deployed in Ladakh. Ladakh is a very strategic area, so there we have deployed this Agni D. Okay, AI based surveillance system we have implemented in, deployed in Ladakh. Other than that, we have AI in Defense Symposium is also there. Defense Symposium. So here AI driven technologies has been showcased. Okay, like robotics, automation, things have been showcased. International collaboration is also there. International collaborations and training simulation. India and US is having defense artificial intelligence dialogue. Okay. Other than that, also now we are having like Sonoboys are we are implementing Sonoboys. So like that, many defense defense collaborations we are actually having with both Russia as well as US. Okay. So this is also important. War deck. So this is actually a war gaming simulation. War gaming. So instead of going to the field and testing our instead of going to the field and testing our weapons and all, using AI itself, we can create a simulated environment. We can actually create, setting here itself, we will be able to find out how effective one particular weapon or whatever in some whatever it is. Okay, so this is war deck example of it. And also we have a partnership with AI partnership with Israel also, AI defense partnership with Israel also. Okay, data and infrastructure development. Data and infrastructure development to secure this defense data repositories. For that also we are using artificial intelligence technology. Okay, all right. So these are the topics for today. Now let's move on to mains practice question. The year 2024 has been confirmed as the first calendar year to breach the 1.5 global warming threshold. Analyze the significance of this event in the context of global climate change and its implication for achieving the Paris Agreement target. Okay, so you can introduce by what is maybe the report itself. You can say what is the significance of Paris Agreement, and that report by WMO and CEC you can quote, and after that you can move on to the body. Okay, so here you can analysis what are the causes and significance, like natural causes are there, man-made causes are there, so that you can analyze, and after that you can explain how the signals are shrinking a window for effective global action. So like that way you can analyze. After that you can move on to the implications for the Paris Agreement. So what is the impact of this 1.5 and 2.5 targets? Since we have already crossed this 1.5 target, what is actually the implication? So that you can write. Okay, and finally, and again you can suggest some of the committee recommendations and what are the global initiatives and all, what is India's role and all, you can include in this way forward. After that you can conclude it. Okay, conclude it like it is a wake up call and we have to act, and it should be a global action. Okay, all right. So we'll see the practice questions, the prelims practice questions of yesterday's DNA. Okay, yesterday's daily news analysis. Which of the following statements regarding dual citizenship in India are correct? Constitution does not permit dual citizenship. In India, we don't have dual citizenship, so that is correct. So this is correct. Article 5 of the Indian Constitution defines citizenship at commencement of Constitution based on domicile, birth and residence. Okay, so that's also correct. Overseas citizens of India are granted political rights such as voting and contesting elections in India. Overseas citizens are not granted this political right. They have some travel and economic rights are there, but no political rights are conferred. Okay, so the correct answer will be 1 and 2. Next one. Which of the following statements about genome and genome sequencing are correct? A genome is complete set of genetic material in an organism encoded in DNA and is made up of 23 pairs of chromosomes in human. So that is correct. Genome sequencing involves determining the exact order of nucleotide bases in an organism DNA and helps in understanding genetic variations for medical, agricultural and evolutionary purpose. So that is also correct. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. Genome India project aims to sequence the genomes of 1 lakh individuals, focusing primarily on genetic data from the populations in urban areas without considering diverse population group. This is not correct. Okay, we will be taking from a diverse population range, including the rural areas. There is no discrimination like this. So the correct answer will be A, 1 and 2. Okay. Next one. With reference to section 152 of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita and its implication, consider the following statement. It criminalizes acts that incite secession, armed rebellion or subversive activities and endangered India's sovereignty, unity and integrity. This is there on section 152 of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. So that is there. And next one, unlike section 124A of IPC, so this is sedition. Okay, section 152 provides a clear and specific definition of terms like sovereignty and unity. This is incorrect because unlike the predecessor section 124A, here they are not providing any clear. So that is one of the disadvantage, or maybe that is one of the criticisms of this BNS section 152. Okay, so right. So these are the previous questions of yesterday's DNA. Okay, all right. So today's prelims practice question. So this will be available in our website. This will be available in our website navigator.narayana.com. So their current affairs tab will be there. Click on that current affairs tab. You can go to the daily quiz and you will be getting all these questions. Okay, so there itself you can answer that quiz. Okay. All right. So now we will discuss the question which I have shown you in the first part. Gada Saptati of Satavahana King Hala is composed in which language? You might have already posted it in the chat box. We'll see that. So Gada Saptati of Satavahana King Hala is composed in which language? Option A Pali, B Prakrit, C Persian and D Sanskrit. So the correct answer is Prakrit. Okay, Prakrit. So there is a Maharashtri Prakrit language is there. Okay, so that is a set of poems which is composed in this Prakrit language. Okay, all right. So that's it for today's daily news analysis. Hope you have got an understanding regarding all the 4 topics which we have discussed. So that's it for today. Thank you.